FC are the Jamaica Premier League 2024-2025 champions. What a match. No, the game ended what? A nil-all? The game ended nil-all, but I tell us the people, it wasn't short of excitement. A lot of people, many people said the game kind of boring, but I never say that. But I tell us that the game was crazy, people. The game was crazy. No, I do think though, there's a lot of things to put in context where this game is concerned. And we can also discuss the Honey Garden versus Mobile, because both teams were playing for the Caribbean Championship matchup, or should I say the CFU. And I was surprised actually on them and not impressed with the performance from Montego Bay. I really expected them to play a lot better than that what I saw they came out and give. They lost that game handsomely. But I thought Honey Garden looked really sharp. They looked like they wanted it. And the same three teams in the Caribbean competitions, Honey Garden, Mount Pleasant, and Cavalier. Last year we saw Cavalier gone all the way to the quarterfinals? Round of 16. Yeah, round of 16 to face off versus Inter Miami. I think a round of 16. What I mean? I think a round of 16. But nevertheless, all three teams are now in the competition. Now, I have to say, people, overall, this game was the season was a tough season. And coming to this game, I thought that Mount Pleasant had the upper hand. I really thought that Mount Pleasant had the upper hand. You know, with Cavalier played so much matches in such a short time span. They played a lot of football. And when I watch that game, you can see the Cavalier players running and like they look fresh. They look fresh. And the entire 90 minutes, there was only one change from Rudolph Speed, and that was when Busy just could not continue anymore. So he was pulled. Was it the 90 minutes? Was it the 90 minutes? I think it was the 90 minutes. And he just couldn't continue. And well, he's back. He's up and he's all right now. So he's recovered. He had to be taken to the hospital, which kind of sent a little scare to everybody. But other than that, both teams really nullified each other in many aspects of the game. We saw where each time Sole McCullough come inside to invert, Busy would go and stand beside him. On the next side, Kimoni Bailey come inside to invert. Calvin would go and stand beside him just to limit the Mount Pleasant building up from the back. Because really and truly, Mount Pleasant build up from the back, you know, they would have one of the wing back. Most like 90% of the time, it is Sole McCullough inverting in the middle of the park. And what Cavalier did, whenever they see any inverting take place, they would send one of the attackers to go and pin that player just to nullify that inverting. The starting lineup was a surprise. The Mount Pleasant starting lineup was a surprise. They went to Daniel Green as a striker versus Ryan Edwards, and I do think that was a huge mistake by the Mount Pleasant coaching staff from my perspective. One of the big licensing badges or whatever, but from my perspective, I thought that was a huge mistake. Now, why do I think that was a mistake? Quite so often we see King hitting those diagonal. He's under zero to no pressure hitting those diagonal. Daniel Green is not necessarily a pressing type of striker. He's not a striker. He's also just playing false nine. So that in itself kind of me kind of weird. No, I would understand why they went to Daniel Green. I think they went with a bit more technical security. Someone who's going to hold on to the ball. A little bit more safer. But Rhyme is kind of different. Rhyme is kind of take the ball, move, turn, and go at goal. So he's a lot more direct than Daniel Green because he's a striker. So you'd expect that. Daniel Green is more of a midfielder, a winger / midfielder. And that so from Daniel Green you get a lot more hold onto the ball and trying to create stuff versus Rhyme Edwards who's just banging, going straight at goal. As he receives the ball, it's doggish straight at goal. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the Mount Pleasant coaching staff would have gone for Daniel Green, opted instead of utilizing Ryan Edwards. But that in itself kind of defeat the system that they have been playing so throughout the entire season. And you can see that because the Cavalier defenders weren't under any level of stress. They didn't come under a lot of stress. So they just all they have to do was shuffle side and side. Whenever Mount Pleasant have the ball, it's a knock it around, knock it, pass the side, left, right, pass, left, right, left, right, left, right. So the Cavalier team did not come in under any undue stress to cause problems for them. Richard King was solid. I think Ling also was really, really solid. Doing Allen in the middle of the park was very, very good. Ritters was okay. I thought Watson was solid as well. Calvin, didn't get much from Calvin still, but he held his own. I thought the danger player was doing Atkinson. He looks dangerous each time he receives the ball. Two players will be on him as fast as possible to nullify him. For Mount Pleasant, I thought that Ming was brilliant. Ming looked extremely solid. Cummins was also solid. Very, very good performance from Cummins. I think they nullified. I think Cavalier really, really did a job on Sole McCullough in the middle of the park. He did have his moments. I didn't see Thomas though. I saw him in moments of the game, but I didn't see him consistent enough. Throughout the 90 minutes, Daniel Green was in some sense a bit absent in the game as well. Judy was also, he was okay, but he didn't get a lot of creativity from him. But nevertheless, I think both teams kind of nullified each other. It goes to show the quality on both teams. The two teams at the top hierarchy chamber in the Jamaica Premier League, going at it, clashing at it, and definitely they're the two best teams in the country. And it showed on that day, it showed the reason why they were there. And I thought the average person who came there really enjoyed themselves. Then it went all the way down to penalties. I think Mount Pleasant made quite a few changes when they brought on Ryan Edwards. That is when they look a lot more dangerous on the front foot. But I guess that's how football is. As I said, Cavalier only made one change, and it was Dennison coming on for Busy when Busy just couldn't continue. I think they made a few more changes, like about 2 more changes. I think we saw, was Missy come on? Chad James did come on, but I think somebody else come on. Yeah, I'm not sure who else come on, but I don't think Cavalier made a lot of change. So I was surprised that they were able to sustain the amount of pressure, plus also try to hit Mount Pleasant on the counter. And it was 2 different types of teams going up against each other, and them show each other a lot of respect. Them show each other a lot of respect, people have to say. Them show each other a lot of respect. All went down to penalties. Penalties was actually where most of the action took place, because goals scored. Christopher Ainsworth missed his penalty. Sole McCullough, captain, fantastic as well, missed his penalty. That was a surprise. A lot of persons did not expect that from Sole McCullough. He was one of the most senior players in the team, and technically a player who right throughout the season kind of was one of the most in regards to goal scoring, find the most valuable goals for the team. But that's how it is. And I think Thomas was the one who came, and it was a brilliant save as well from Vino. I think Vino had a really, really good game. He made some vital saves. But I think the season ended on a good high, a really good high. Cavalier the champion. I know Mount Pleasant must have felt disappointed. I do think, though, because both teams were really and truly the CONCACAF champions was the main aim. But after achieving that, I thought that both teams wanted to win the league. They were desperate to win in the league, I have to say. Even though they might not show it, I think they were desperate to win the league. And me and Jai myself, even though my team was not in the final, I thought as a neutral watching, I actually enjoyed myself. But it was a tough journey going home, because my wife support Cavalier, Shav support Cavalier, and the chair we apart. And you know, I have to just sit in my vehicle, go and listen to them and enjoy themselves. But never bother me, huh? Next year, a full year. Next year, full year. It's come like Arsenal. Next season, FC. Anyways, big up on yourself, people. Smash like button, hit subscribe button. I should do a more in-depth season review, so look out for that one. Enjoy yourself, people. God bless. We're outside. Boom. And I mean, outside.